Set in the middle of Nigeria, among greenery landscapes, was Ibadan village shaped and impacted by John's Amaros story about mermaids. Peace had prevailed, but in the still waters of Forbidden River, a storm was raging, an underwater tempest of sadness and bloody retribution among aquatics over Amaros' slaying. Sirena, the mere queen whose scales were as translucent and shiny deep ocean stones, gathered all other spirits of water. She commanded an act of revenge against the topsiders for Amaros' death. Sirena, a symbol of both beauty and strength with her eyes mirroring the roughness of seas, shouted for their supremacy to be shown, so no more offenses against their kind would arise. Gripped by a change in the air and waters, John is now an esteemed older person, Ibadan. The Forbidden River, which had once yielded rich catches, was now a silent brook, with its fish vanishing as if fleeing from an invisible power. As he recalled his past with Amaros, he thought retribution was imminent. Faced with such a dangerous situation as the village, John suggested an ambitious plan for peace. At twilight, he crossed to the bank of the river where worlds met and called for Sirena. He made an apology and promised mutual respect between their people. Sirena, curious yet suspecting something, surfaced from the abyss of water and demanded attention just by being present. The negotiation between them was tight. John based it on their history, and Sirena herself insisted not only for the words, but also actions to atone. An accord on the verge of hatching was broken by a cry that punctured midnight. An unknowing youth from the village threw a fishing net at a stream, catching a mermaid's young. The fragile peace shattered. Observing the act, Sirena interpreted it as betrayal that confirmed her apprehensions on human inconstancy. She disappeared under the ground, and John was left with a sad heart knowing war is coming. The village prepared itself for retaliation from the merfolk. John took advantage of his understanding with Amaros and the river to command preparations, establishing defenses as well as collecting all villagers into a united force. However, in his heart he had hope of a peaceful settlement. Sirena responded quickly and ruthlessly. Conjured with the fury of ocean, a tidal wave crashed on Ibadan's shores, announcing the landing of merfolk army. They appeared a threat of warriors armed with weapons carved from coral and bone. Both sides incurred losses during the fierce battle. Equipped with spears and nets, the villagers defended valiantly as their will was firm to save their houses. The merfolk, yielding the power of water, were a formidable foe whose anger sustained their strength. Dawn drew nearer, but neither party yielded. The very river itself seemed to groan in frustration. Its currents thrashed about with battle turmoil. Then a great and ancient turtle that was an old protector of the stream rose up. Its colossus size drew immediate attention, and its voice, deep and powerful, demanded a truce. The turtle spoke about equilibrium and reverence, of the interdependency of all existence. It served as a warning to both opponents that their actions affected not only each other, but also the river on which they all depended. But the hostilities were suspended in wisdom that is as old as water. John and Sirena, for their peoples, met again by the riverbank now with an eye-to-eye guardian watching over them. With the horrors of war laid bare before them, they concluded a truthful peace treaty. Sirena noted the courage of villagers, and John repented for past events with sincere desire to coexist. An agreement was made that very day, blessed by the old turtle. The villagers would sanctify the river, preserving it and its life-giving bounty, while merfolk watch over her waters to see that some is given or taken away in balance. The Forbidden River, previously a site of separation and conflict, turned into the epitome of unity and acceptance. The tale of the Battle of the Forbidden River, Ibadan's story, would forever include Mermaid's revenge as a pivot, which represents knowledge leading to unity and peace for all creatures. It became a narrative that was being passed through generations in the village, reflecting perseverance and impact of reconciliation.